Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Redcast, where I, your host, RedJay, talk with my cast of friends about whatever we want. And I'm going to give it off to True Blue because this is his show. I'm just doing a takeover.
You could have segued me better, but that's fine. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the start of the cast takeover. Today, our current host is going to be my lovely friend RedJay, and like
Hello, hello.
usual, and I've been relegated to co-host slot, and Terrence has been downgraded once more to cast slot, but he's here. Hi, Nova. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So like usual, before we get into the actual things that happened between now and last podcast, it's actually the new year now. Happy New Year's, everyone. I hope that went well. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that. Besides that, I'm be honest, I don't think really like anything's happened. Pokemon released 1008 special. Ash's like epilogue series just started, and Terrence, this one's for you. Yokai Watch, for its 10-year anniversary, is releasing a premium Bandai Yokai Watch with a set of 8 medals that has a digital light-up screen that recreates the summoning effect, and then there's a second book you can buy with a ton of extra medals, and they're all popular yokai from the series, like Komasan, Mangy Mutt, all those guys.
Oh, my swirls.
Dude, it looks fucking amazing, and I saw that before I literally just saw on Twitter, and I'm so excited. I retweeted everything.
Mean, it's not what I thought it was going to be when you said Yokai Watch, but, I'll take what I can get.
Okay, I'll send you one of the promotional photos, and then you tell me how fucking nice this one looks. Besides that, I'm going to be honest, I don't think anything's happened, so, Anyway, this month we are talking about visual novels. And
Suggested by me.
And I will let RedJay take it away.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I am a huge visual novel fan. I love playing all different kinds of visual novels, and today we're going to talk about those. We have like a topic list over here that I'm going to try to stick to because I tend to ramble quite a bit. Okay, so first thing up is favorite visual novels. As of right now, my favorite visual novel is actually something that we're going to be going into depth into a little while later. It's called Our Life Beginning and Always. It's a wonderful visual novel. It's free to play on Steam. It's just really good. Does anybody else have favorite visual novels before
I'd make the argument that with how much dialogue goes into a Persona game, I'm fucking kidding. I'm not gonna pull that shit.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna talk about that now. About like what classifies as a visual novel and what doesn't. The only thing the way I classify visual novels is if it advertises itself as a visual novel. Persona advertises itself as an RPG, therefore it is an RPG first, visual novel second.
But it's still a visual. You just literally said it's still a visual novel.
But we're focusing on visual novels.
Oh, that's fucking semantics.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm the host, so I can do whatever I want. And Ace Attorney is a visual novel with aspects of a puzzle game.
Let's see.
That's a fact.
I will say, if we're going off of visual novels, I haven't played that many. And I would say my current favorite, because it's the only one I've seen to like 100% completion, is DDLC. I know. Wow, fucking wow.
Gads.
To be fair,
so we're going to talk about that more in depth.
I haven't played that much of many visual novels. I won't shit talk visual novels, but I don't know. I just tend not to play them.
I'm very passionate about visual novels. But Terrence, do you have a favorite visual novel?
They don't know. Doki Doki, that's the only thing I've actually played.
Okay.
I can feel your pain. I can feel your pain.
For real. But next point of the visual novel is least favorite visual novels. And looking back on it, I have played some really bad visual novels. But the ones that stick out above the rest are linear visual novels. Ones that don't give you any choices and they're just kind of linear. That's why they call it.
All right.
Yeah,
I
good one.
actually have something to say for this one. I haven't played it myself, but conceptually, it's because it is marketed as a visual novel and it's on Switch. And conceptually, this game fucking like I just hate so much to the point that I'm gonna say it's my least favorite without even like seeing a single ounce of gameplay. It's a visual novel, but replace all of the art with just like real people and like real scenes and shit. And it's a visual
What's it
novel.
called?
It's on. I don't fucking know because I didn't want to look it up again because it like I saw the trailer for it and it was like a ton of people like looking towards a camera on some casting couch off space doing some weird shit and I said not fucking with it.
Um,
Um, it's on Switch. Whoever wants to go in the comments and respond and say yeah. It looks like hell on earth, and I don't want to experience it. I've also found some weird shit on like Steam, like the amount of
oh, I too have found
furry
some
related
really weird
ones,
stuff on Steam.
or like the real fucking like horny bait. Just no.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember back in 2020, I had a huge visual novel phase where uh like for most nights, all I did was play whatever free visual novels I was able to get my hands on. And I'm sure I brought this up before because it was just batshit crazy. It was called "Since When Have I Had a Combat Butler?" And oh my God, I swear I've told you about this before.
You
It
have.
was it was so strange. It's about this girl who, at some point, had a combat butler. But spoilers, I really hope that nobody plays this game. He was actually a shape-shifting god that, in the day, was like one of her close friends, and she was also this like shape-shifting god. I don't know, man. It's and there was no choices. I think there was like one choice that like chose what kind of ending you were going to get. Oh my God. But yeah, linear visual novels. If I wanted to like experience a linear visual novel, I would just read a book or watch a show. One of the appeals of visual novel is having a say in like which way the plot goes, whether that's picking your own route or picking like how a story will end. That's one of the appeals. You know?
Terrence, what's your least favorite, and why is it also DDLC? Because I promise you that's the only visual novel you can name off the top of your head.
My favorite is DDLC, and my least favorite is also DDLC because I have not played or seen any other ones. So
Oh my God.
Process of elimination.
But DDLC is next on the topic list, so we're gonna be talking about that one a bit more in depth. Well, I'm gonna pull up the DDLC like store page on my Switch.
All right. I'm gonna just may I just ask a quick question about
Go
DDLC?
for it.
Who's best girl and why is it fucking Monica? Fight me.
I will fight you because it's Natsuki.
No, fuck you. Monica's the best.
No, she's not.
Yes, Monica's
She
so good. It's just Monica.
Okay, then give me your reasoning so I don't have to just go back and forth and we can actually make some content here.
So right. I mean, okay. Let's be real here. It ain't Sayori. Just, no. Um.
And
I don't
anybody
fly
who
with Yuri.
says it's Yuri, I will fight.
Yeah, no. So that just leaves Monica and Natsuki. And it's like, yeah, Natsuki got, there's a lot more time with her. But she's kind of tsundere. I don't fuck with that. And then there's just
I
Monica,
do.
who's like, she just wants to be with you. Like, that's the kind of part of the game. She wants to be with you, and she'll go for fucking crazy lengths for that. And, like, bitch, you're bad with it, though. So, like, I don't know.
Actually just remembered that I once made an entire like 3 paragraph essay about why I don't like Yuri.
That 100% sounds like something you would do.
Okay, I'll just try to summarize this. Her obsessive behavior is extremely suffocating and made me very uncomfortable while playing despite doing a Natsuki run, and the issue of self-harm. It m- making masochism and like self-harm overlap is something that is very much not okay. That is very much not okay. And I have very extreme negative emotions towards self-harm, so that's very much not okay. Uh, I'm just gonna read this over here. Her lust towards the MC is already very, very strange, and her openly admitting doing some of the things that she did with the ahem pen was overstepping and made me dislike her even more.
What did she admit doing with the pen?
You don't need to know. If you don't know, you don't know.
This definitely sounds like something I know. It's just I don't remember. Did she stab herself with the pen? Is
And
that what it was?
among other things, what she did with the poem that she gave to the MC was a border that was crossed and made me grow to hate and made me and made it made me grow a great hate for her. That's my exact wording, and it doesn't sound like English, but okay. It was strange, and I don't like it very much. And that's why I like Natsuki, because out of all of the people in this game, she's the most normal.
But like Monica kind of bad with it though.
Unlike everybody else, she's not going to kill somebody for you.
That's just dedicated
And yet,
love, bro. I'm just kidding. It's just honestly, you have 4 characters to choose from, and if you want to say best girl, it's just whoever the fuck you think is just like the most like not fucking insane.
when it comes to DDLC and who people think is best girl, I'm always going to say it's Natsuki, but everybody else has like such like yes, this one is best girl. It's no. There are extreme like ups and downs with every girl. Hey, like the most Natsuki does is like cuss somebody out like a lot and get into an argument with somebody. That's it.
Also, it also forces people to read out the word baka if they're reading over it. So,
Oh yeah, we
are
we
we
did
gonna
that.
are we gonna talk about that?
No,
No, we're not talking about
but
that.
okay. There was once a time way back when, before the Blue Cast and everything like that,
No, the
where
blue cast is on
uh,
already.
Double Dog was there. Excuse me, Double Dog. He'll get angry if he hears me say double,
Double dog, double dog.
even though it's spelled Double Dog, not Double Dog. But whatever. And I don't remember. But Terrence, did you do Sayori, or was it Monica?
To put it simply, here let me explain this nice and quick. We decided as a group to basically all play DDLC together, and we'd all be characters. I was the protagonist. Terrence ended up being Monica, and RedJay ended up being Natsuki, and we had other people for the other roles. It was a fucking we didn't get that far, but it was a fucking experience to say the least.
Double Dog's acting as Yuri became one of the best performances I've ever seen, and has
In the comments, let's get a hashtag going. You can't get hashtags going in the comments, but I want to get one going in the comments. I want everyone who gets 14 minutes into this video. It'll probably be less. Everyone who gets this far in the
bring back
video.
Monotone Yuri.
Yeah, do hashtag bring back monotone Yuri. The reason it's called monotone Yuri is because fucking Chase doesn't know how the hell to put any soul into his voice, so he would just read Yuri's lines like a fucking ASMR person.
And it sounds boring, but let me tell you, when that was like the funniest thing I've ever experienced.
I don't know. We all tried our best, and we were having fun with it. And then it would just go to him because it'd be like Terrence is reading Monica. It's like, all right,
Welcome
guys,
back
now
to
it's
the
time for the
Literature
classroom.
Club.
And cut to Yuri, be like, oh, what a shame. How I wish this day could end today, or some random bullshit. Anyway, let me talk about knives. Like,
You gads.
It was hilarious, and
I am
Chase,
so
if you're
shocked.
watching this, please, I want to hear it again.
and I'm never gonna forget you fucking putting your heart and soul into stuttering and saying the word baka. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, Oh my God, I don't remember that. Can we please leave that in the depths of my memory?
No.
Oh my God.
Listen,
Uh,
I was the MC, so I had to read all the fucking cringy dialogue. It's like, no, you're amazing. I love you. You're the best. And it's like, I don't. It doesn't help when I'm literally in a call with my friends, so I'm just reading this, and it's directed at a character, so by accident it's seemingly directed at them. Makes it really fucking weird when I'm sitting there. I'm just like, you're bad at it though, and they're just in call.
oh my God, shut up. It's terrible.
Like, I know I do that jokingly with like everyone, but it's weird when I'm reading like a script and doing it, you know? Because usually I do that without
Yeah,
a
yeah, I
script.
know.
That sounds
Anyway,
really
I just
fucking weird
checked
out of
the
pocket, but we'll leave it on.
I just checked the topic list of the next visual novel we're supposed to talk about.
You don't need to follow the list in order. That's just whatever.
Oh no, I'm going to
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm going to get off topic and like not understand what to talk about next if I don't. So Alex made this list, and the next thing we're supposed to be talking about is Honey Pop.
It's
Honey
not
Pop, Honey
supposed
Pop,
to.
whatever.
Listen, I always make the list. They're never in order. I just put whatever I'm thinking, and I never organize it because I just use that's how I use it. Okay, if I
And,
needed to know to organize it for you, I would have.
okay, so when it comes to Honey Pop, I actually have the first game. Because it was on sale for like $1, and I thought it was hilarious. I actually tried to stream it, but I had it on my old computer, and it was terrible.
Also,
Okay.
this kind of random. Didn't you download like a mod that like fucking crashed the game?
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely did. Uh, it was a mod like by the company. The company. I probably wasn't a company, but like whoever made Hooney Pop. So I tried to download that because like Steam's restrictions. But whenever I were to open any picture, the game would just crash and I wouldn't be able to exit. Yeah, it wasn't good. So I just I
The
technically
struggle
haven't
for
actually
for
finished.
Booba was real.
Yes, very much so. But yeah, I do have the game, and it's so funny. It is unnecessarily funny.
I think the
Like,
funniest part to me is like because watched you play before. I think the funniest part to me is because you don't really play those kinds of games. So I think it's just really funny watching you play it, and you're just like, I just want to see tits, damn it, and you're just fucking struggling to play a puzzle. Also, what up, Frosty? Long time no see.
hi.
It's been a minute.
Uh,
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see you like 4 hours ago.
We don't talk about it.
anyway,
We're talking about Honey
uh,
Pop. Anything you want to say?
Horny game, good.
yes,
That's what I have to
I
say.
agree. And right now, like back when I first played the game, the mouse I had was so bad. It was like always slightly off caliber. So every single time I had to do like the matching games, it just
No, I
wouldn't
was
work.
honestly impressed that you found a fucking computer mouse that had Joy-Con drift. It was fucking impressive.
It was so
Like, I was
Please
genuinely
don't refer
impressed.
it as that ever again, please.
I was suffering every single time. So yeah, I actually haven't finished the game. Like I only actually managed to get like I actually only managed to complete Echo's route. Is that her name? I think so. Echo.
I have a
Yeah.
photo from when you tried to play. I think it was Hoonie Pop, like the first one. While I was at your house.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We don't have to talk about that.
I'm gonna send it in chat right now.
But yeah, he
Oh
has
shit, was that when I was there?
yeah.
Oh,
I
I
was
remember
trying to play
that.
the game and said DLC that we were talking about like a couple minutes ago. Well, it was a mod really. Um, again, the one that like made it so I wasn't able to exit out of any image. I got stuck on a really, really bad image.
You got caught
And
lacking, and you
both
just don't want to admit it.
Genuinely, you got caught
and
lacking.
Frosty and Alex were there.
You
And
can
I
say
couldn't
Adilson. You can say Adilson.
I didn't know if he wanted his name to be said, but
I know,
yeah,
but
Yeah, Dilson, Frosty, Big Daddy A, whatever you want to call him.
please don't call
I I wasn't able to get off the image.
because this
Yeah,
was on my old computer.
yeah. My old computer was really, really
Bro, it just
bad.
got the bed at the worst time possible.
I would
So
argue the
bad.
best time possible.
But yeah, and Honeypop Double Date, I only really watched Markiplier play it,
I
and
know
let me tell
nothing
you,
about that game. Is that game just all about like threesomes? That's what I've been told.
yes, that is exactly what it is.
It's just threesomes.
Yes, that's yep, exactly. Alex, you never played the game, but you exactly could in one word. That's correct.
Honestly, my only real exposure to visual novels, aside from watching people play like really horny ones, is League of Legends, aka the best game ever made. Not.
This is my podcast, and we're not
I
talking
don't
about League of
care.
Legends on my
No, no, no,
podcast.
no, 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 no. This ties in very well.
Sure it does.
Because like years ago, they used to actually care and make like new game modes during events. Um, but I think starting in like 2020, they got really lazy and just gave us visual novels. The first one was really cool because you would encounter like a snake lady, and one of the dialogue options for every conversation with her was to ask her to crush your bones.
What? Why?
Because, just because. I mean, if I showed you a picture of her, you'd get it. Um, but their first attempt at the whole visual novel thing was probably their best, because after that, people were like, "We liked it, but not this much. Can you please leave?"
All right.
So,
Hold on. I'm trying to pull up the Honeypop Double Date sales page. I spelled
All
Honey
right, I need
wrong.
to know. I feel like this is me talking about like how to pronounce Pokemon names. Is it Honeypop or Honeypop? I've always said Honeypop.
It's Honeypop, but I say Honeypop because it's spelled really, really weird. Okay, I just remembered. I'm looking at the sales page right now, and there's this character, and her name is Sarah, and she introduces herself as Suki. It has like a Japanese gyaro style. Ugh. Haven't you guys like watched Markiplier play this game?
No.
I don't know the best way. I don't know. But it's like she has like a, a a feature in this game is that all the girls come with quote unquote baggage.
They come?
So like baggage. So like it affects the way that they play. Okay, actually, Adilson, I see where you're coming from.
yeah. And for each conversation with her, there was an option to ask her to crush your bones.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. But that affects the way that they play. Like, for example, one of the two MILFs, one of them has like smoker's lung, so her stamina is lower than everybody else's, you
That's
know?
wait. That's a character's baggage, just fucking smoker's lung. That doesn't sound like baggage.
Yeah.
That sounds like you need to see a doctor. Oh,
Yeah.
Death.
Another girl's baggage is like teen angst. So like all of the bell tokens that like
hold the phone.
raise
Hold the phone.
your
What do you mean teen
Teen?
angst? I don't like you're talking
Teen?
about a
I'm,
game
I'm
like this, and you just said teen angst is a fucking baggage.
18, but according to the game. But teen angst being one of her baggages. So every single time you match a joy token, which usually raises your moves, it will drain her affection instead. For
Odd.
some reason.
Okay.
And in this game, there's actually like a Muslim character, which is like good for them. including a diverse cast. But for a game like Honey Pop to do it first, okay.
Really breaking ground here, dev team. Really breaking some ground here. I see the
We're going crazy.
priorities.
Yeah. And that character, my god, is she horny? Like, yeesh. And there's this one character that's a really dumb stripper. There are two that are YouTubers and models.
No, not the YouTubers.
Nobody here has played Double Date. But Lola and Jenny, I think her name, Jessie, I think are the only two people from the original game, if I am incorrect. I don't think I am. No, I'm not.
Alright, I think we should try switching up the topic for a bit. We can go back to the horny stuff in a bit, but I feel like we need a cleansing remorse.
Okay. In that case, the next thing on the topics list is anime/manga visual novel adaptations.
Oh, I actually have shit to say on this one, because this is probably the only visual novels I personally want to go and buy for my own, like, personal reasons. Because I'm a base motherfucker. So, like, a lot of the ones that Anime's Crunchyroll's bought recently, or, like, they have some form of, like, contract with, they've been making visual novels for. Like, there's a Konosuba one that I really want to play. There's a Quintessential Quintuplets one.
Yeah, I remember that.
And across the board, they're fucking horny as fuck.
Yep,
but,
that's
like,
the truth.
But besides that, to my understanding, they both really match, like, you know, the atmosphere and, like, the dialogue, like the story of just those shows, and they both, one of them plays off of the fact that Konosuba plays off the fact that the anime right now, because season 3 got announced, but it plays off between the time of season 2 and 3, I believe, and then Quintessential Quintuplets, basically, they just took, like, a beach episode and made it a visual novel, and I think that's fucking great.
That.
And I know a few other animes that I personally haven't watched also got that treatment, and I don't know, as a fan of these animes, because you're basically being slotted in you're either slotted in as a character, or you're becoming the main character, you know what he's like, because you've seen it, and I discussed this with you before, RedJay, but it's like one of the things about visual novels that I don't really like, not my cup of tea, is the fact that it's like you're a self-insert, like, in this world. It's like, I don't know, having some form of establishment to go with, like, a character goes such a long way for me, because, like, because it's like I don't like blank slates. Like, I'm fine with blank slates, but I don't like I like when you're a character and it's like, yeah, this is, that's kind of their style, kind of their thing, but let's, like, there's still so much free reign you have with them. I don't really care for the characters where it's just like, you don't fucking know, like, it's just you. That's never been my cup of tea, so it's always been, like, a big thing for visual novels, but these are taking things that I genuinely like, putting me as characters that I would love to fucking, experience, and be like, well, I mean, this character might say this line, but, like, I honestly want to kind of be nicer, because this bitch is an ass. Or, like, you know what, let me see what happened to this character if I piss them off a little. Like, it's little things like that I appreciate so much more, that when it comes to these visual novels, especially since they have, like, the voice actors, the art's fucking beautiful, like, these adaptations really do so much for me. Especially since it's just, I watch such select anime, like, such few and far between anime and random, like, things of that nature. So it just goes such a long way for me. But yeah.
Yeah, I do get what you're talking about. Like, if the character actually has, like, a connection to the other characters, it makes the story more dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, also,
Find some.
I guess this doesn't have to do with the thing, but one thing for visual novels for me that I it's not like a dislike towards it, but it more so has to do with just my viewpoint of it, it's always like the art style, and it's nothing against it because I think visual novels they're fucking beautiful games, but it's the fact that like 99% of the time it's it looks like an anime. It looks like it's ripped from like a manga, and that's not a bad thing by any means. But when I'm playing a game, I don't want to like a video game. If I'm attributing it to strip just like it looks like an anime that I can experience, like I'm just gonna go watch the anime, and it
Yeah.
or like I'm gonna go watch anime with a similar feeling. Like I playing through something that I just have like no knowledge of, that just looks like something else, like a different form of media that I take in. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me.
But I do understand what you're talking about. It's kind of like that for me with the Steins Gate visual novel. I'm aware that Steins Gate was originally a visual novel, but I ended up getting it in a bundle where it was basically the exact same thing that Steins Gate was, but it took scenes from like the actual anime, then just put it over regular visual novel stuff. And oh my God, that it was so annoying. And I didn't even realize till I was like halfway through the game. It's like, wait a damn second. This is just an anime with a visual novel over it. It was not good.
I will say. I guess this might be
Yeah.
just from our experiences, but like for me, because I'm not a big reader. I'm not big into like anime and shit. So like everything about a visual novel for the most part just doesn't appeal to me. But like when playing with you or like Terrence or like just hearing around with visual novels or like watching other people play and like them joke about it, that as an experience with other people, I find makes visual novels so fun and entertaining that you can't get out of like other video games.
Yeah. I like
Especially
doing
just
that with
other
like
story based things. Like
mysteries.
you can't read like any book, and I feel like get that kind of experience like a visual novel could get you. And I think it's like visual novels. If you just choose to like read it with someone else and you're just joking around the whole time, I find it so fun. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I've been so like adamant about us continuing to do DDLC because we've just been
Yeah.
doing that for fun. But I've been so adamant about that because I just find that so much fun, and it's refreshing to play through basically a story-driven game where we're inserting ourselves, and at this point we're just having our own fun with it, and it feels like an actual game at that point.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I kind of did that with my family for the first chapter of Ace Attorney, where like all of us would like voice over a different character. I mean, I kind of like forced them to do it because I really wanted somebody to like voice it with me. Didn't last long, but I did have a lot of fun doing it. I don't think they did, but
I don't think I participated in that, but it was really fun to listen to.
Also, this is going to be the
comments,
fucking one
hashtag
of
bring
the
back Monotone
biggest
Yuri.
hot takes. Visual novels that
Tell.
have like voiceover are worse than visual novels that don't.
There's a big hot take.
That's a fucking hot. I think a visual novel's good
That definitely
without
is a
the
hot
need
take.
of a voiceover. I don't think visual novels should have the voiceovers. Look, I understand it and I get the
I
appeal, but I personally feel like visual novels without it are just better.
As somebody who like likes reading, I have like I do have a bit of trouble reading. So like people who have like dyslexia and stuff like that, if they have voiceovers, then it's like easy to help like read that. That definitely helps me read it because I'm not really reading it, but I'm still getting the full story, and it's nice. I just like being able to like hear the voices without me actually having to like make them up. Well, I like it anyway. And that seems like that one has gone cold. And next one on the list is horror visual novels.
I'm surprised that that is such a big fucking thing. It seems like such a niche.
I'm surprised it's a thing at all.
Yeah, I feel like that's
Yeah.
such a niche, but I'm surprised at how big of a thing it is.
I actually have the sales page of two of my favorite horror visual novels over here. They're both mystery and horror. The Zero Escape, 9 Hours, Nine Persons, Nine Doors, and the zero. Well, I guess the Zero Escape games in general.
I don't.
They
I've
usually
just
comes in a bundle.
my interpretation of visual novels and like the way people experience them. It never. I don't know what it was, but it never seemed like horror would mix in that kind of style.
I know, but it actually really works really
It's
well in my
so, but like
opinion.
I feel like in terms of visual novels, it's like that. Besides like your fucking horny bait, that's like the second like biggest category. That and then like your standard like oh it's like a romance whatever.
Psychological horror is a great genre, and I stand by that.
Oh, 100% it is.
The Zero Escape games, I know none of you guys have seen these, but in terms of like horror, mystery, thriller, and stuff like that, if you're looking for that, like with a bit of like puzzle games thrown in there, you are going to absolutely love the Zero Escape games. There's Zero Escape 999 and Zero Escape Virtue's Last Rewards. I finished the first one. I haven't finished the second one, but the second one's graphics are questionable because they went for a more 3D approach, but the first one is all 2D and it's fantastic. It's pretty much all fully voice acted and it's wonderful. I love it so
I
much.
know this doesn't really have to do with visual novels, but you brought up you just fucking said it, that kind of horror, psychological horror. But I've been very open about the fact that I don't like horror related things. Just I don't give a shit about because a lot of, it just doesn't fucking sit right with me, and I just don't give a fucking shit. Like horror movies, horror games, like it doesn't fuck with me. I psychological horror, I find it's fucking amazing.
Yummy.
I,
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
I don't know, like especially like when we're talking about like film, I find psychological horror in a film where it's more so that suspense, more just like you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, and less of like ooh spooky
Yeah.
jump scare, there's a monster or whatever. Like that shit. In like I've seen certain movies where it's like nothing about it's really like that scary, but it's always the fucking questions that are being posed and that are coming into your mind that make it fucking terrifying to watch, and I absolutely adore
Especially,
that. And I find it such a good storytelling thing as well. Like if you're telling a story, implementing
yeah.
some form of psychological horror, especially if you're writing like some form of like oh there's like like a moral gray area, or it's like there's a good and bad guy, but it's kind of like in there. Psychological horror in
hmm
those kinds of stories has, from what I've seen, has worked so fucking well, and hasn't. I feel like that, in my opinion, um, horror games, because a lot of horror games try to go for that like ooh spooky, and I really feel like there's not that much psychological horror. Like we talked about DDLC, and that's a great example of it. And I find that if like because like horror games, I guess like the indie horror genre is like where it's at right now. If they incorporated more psychological horror, I feel like those games would be so amazing compared
Psychological
to
horror is really
like the
hard to nail down,
clickbait like
though.
jumps. It is hard. Like I'll never sit here and be like oh it's like the easiest thing in the world. Getting like a quick jump scare out of someone and like getting a reaction is so much easier. But psychological horror, if you do it right, it's fucking fantastic, and
It's so
it's
good.
such a higher, in my opinion, it's such a higher degree of understanding of just horror and what makes someone scared and like those kind of emotions compared to that spookiness that people usually sort with it.
Especially in like horror visual novels because all of it is interactive. So it
100%.
like brings you right there. So like you're forced into the action of it. You're forced to like put yourselves in the character's shoes if you want to progress. So when everything like hits home, it hits harder.
Also,
It's so good.
I also really like the psychological horror when it's like going off of like horror visual novels when when you're being put in these situations and you don't really know what's happening and you're just kind of like I guess it's kind of hard for me to explain just like off the top of my head, but just experiencing like those things for the first time are always experiences in my opinion you're just never gonna get back because you generally are just like on the
hmm
tip of your seat and you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Like I guess the only one that I like have like a ton of knowledge I at least remember a lot of his DDLC. I don't mean to be going back to the same game so much. I wish I could talk about more, but like the first
Yeah.
time you're going to see like Sayori, you're like, oh, she didn't show up to the club, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck. And then you go in her room and you see her fucking like her tied around a noose, fucking hanged herself. You're not ready for that. And like
No.
and then all the warnings about how it's like psychological horror, like at the start, makes so much more sense. And you keep going, and shit like that just keeps randomly fucking happening, and it's like it keeps building, and then you're just always like fucking like on edge because you never know when shit's gonna get real, and it keeps building, and it's so good. Like that kind of stuff is so good in my opinion.
It is really hard to like do it well, but when it's done right, it's going to like rip your brain for days.
Oh yeah.
The psychological horror is horror, so we technically got that topic down. So the next one up is it's horny
This
visual
one's all
novels
you.
again.
This one's all you.
Okay, let me crack my knuckles, getting ready for this. Let me open up my Steam library, see what we got in there. Okay. Um, one of my favorite 18 plus visual novels, so minors get out of here, is The Divine Speaker. Oh my god, it's like fully voice acted. The art style is gorgeous. I have one of my favorite voice actors, Jonah Scott, in there. It's so great. There are three routes, both good and bad endings. You have the ability to look through other like love stories that don't include the main protagonist. The only thing that um I'm not entirely hyped about this game is that the protagonist is kind of not this, and the one of the three routes named Sign. I don't particularly like his route, but if you just played like the first 3 hours of this game, you wouldn't be able to tell that was an 18 plus visual novel. I swear to God, it's the storytelling is amazing. I was supposed to be talking about horny visual novels, not how good the story is.
I mean, you can. There's nothing stopping you.
The story is so unbelievably good. But yeah, one of the amazing ones. Um, Already talked about Huni Pop. There's a game I recently finished called Love Bakudan. It's a lesbian one, but unfortunately, this game is completely linear, except for you choosing whoever's route you want to go on. Eh. One of the characters is a yandere, and the other one's a mob boss. I kind of just like completely skipped through those routes just so I'm able to like get the achievement for completing it, whatever. But for it being a linear visual novel, which I really don't like, the storytelling was so good. It was great. I really loved it.
It's not on the topic list, but I want to ask, 'cause you're like the only, in all honesty, you're like the only person I know that actually plays visual novels. Um, is there a kind of visual novel you want to experience that you haven't yet? Like not one that's out, but like, is there something like you feel like could really make a visual novel like pop in terms of like style or something that you haven't seen yet that you'd like to? I know that's kind of a loaded question, but I'm just curious.
Oh, it's not. But something that I feel like would make visual novels more appealing to everybody is more customizable protagonists. Like, um, I'm non-binary, and so I prefer to use they them pronouns. So as somebody who loves to enjoy visual novels, having ones that are directly aimed at a female audience or a male audience are inherently not going to appeal to me as much as it would people of who like identify
Can I
as
just
those
say,
genders.
since you just confirmed that, for everyone who's been wondering, yes, RedJay is a they them. I know it's been kind of confusing up till now as I've been editing a lot of that shit out, but yes, RedJay is a they them.
I'm a they them, but
There have been
yeah.
actually people commenting before. They're like, "What the fuck?" It's like I'm confused.
Oh, sorry. But anyway, uh, like in the beginning when I was talking about my favorite visual novel, Our Life Beginning and Always, you are able to choose your pronouns in that one. And I feel like if more games had just non-binary protagonists or ones that you're able to pick your own pronouns, it would be widened to a larger range of people who are going to be coming to the game. And same thing with like regular like otome games. I don't like regular otome games because of like how and same thing for like harem, reverse harem, all that kind of stuff. It's so much. Everything is gendered. You cannot escape it. So you're really limiting the kind of audience that you're able to reach with that. And it's like such an easy fix. It's simply just like don't include protagonists and like regular CGs. Um, Even when it comes to writing, it'd be so easy to just be able to like change like some of the script to encompass the pronouns, and that's it. That's it. It would make games so like to reach such a larger audience. It's so easy, and yet, like I think I've only played like three visual novels that actually give you that choice.
I will say though
Uh,
that I feel like in terms of like the public, they haven't realized. Just like I feel like the vast majority of like the public and like just in general, people haven't realized you know that level of like fair treatment. Like I guess would be
Simplicity.
the best way. Yeah, inclusivity. Um. So I 100% feel like give it time. As more visual novels come out, more of them are gonna have those options, like 100%. Because I feel like it's definitely just something plagued with time, where it's just
Yeah.
it wasn't just such a widespread like knowledge. I guarantee you, hell, visual novel like series. I wouldn't if they keep getting sequels on certain series, 100% soon enough they'll be giving those options out for people.
Yeah, the three games I particularly remember you able to like pick your pronouns and is Our Life Beginning and Always, a game I've been playing called Error 143. Is that the title? I'm looking at the sales page for that right now. Yeah, 143. And another game I played during my 2020 visual novel era. And that one you were also able to change like your avatar. And Our Life Beginning and Always, you're able to customize your avatar, even though your avatar doesn't really show up very often. And all of those games are free. And speaking of which, I'm going to move on to. I'm going to use this segue into our next topic because Our Life Beginning and Always is the next on the topic list. Our Life Beginning and Always is by uh I don't know the exact team that like makes it. I'm looking at the sales page right now, so I'm trying to find it. I'll say when I do. But it's a completely free game. There is DLC. And each of the DLC is like $4. Like, God, kill me. It's it's so it's so good. The game starts when you're 8 and ends when you're like 20. There's a free DLC that lets you pick over like 500 voice names to like help with inclusivity. It's it's so amazing. This is a free game. I've played this game like 5 times. And every single time, it always takes me. But I remember I once started playing it at like 8 p.m. and I didn't finish it till 2 a.m. The game is long. It takes you over years of your lifetime, and you're even able to choose whether or not you want to like pursue the main love interest or just continue as friends. It's there are trans characters. You have a pair of lesbian moms. The
I find it funny that just
the
it's a visual novel and it's like you can choose to not get bitches. You have the opportunity, but you can just choose to not get bitches.
Yes. If you just want to stay friends with Cove, you can. You can, and that's the main love interest. His name is Cove. It's amazing. I love it. And you have an older sister. It, it's so good. It's so good. And all of the CG is just gorgeous. And the characters are they're so dynamic. Oh my god, I'm able to gush about this game forever. It's so good. Play this game.
If you want to keep gushing about it, you can.
Then I will. There are one, two, three, four, five DLCs. I think I no, there aren't five DLCs. I have five DLCs. Um, one, two, three, four, five. Wait, I think there might be like seven. No, there are six. Uh, the only one I don't have is the step one expansion because that's when you and everybody else is like eight or nine. Give me a sec. I need to like calm myself down. Get this part out. Okay. But the art style is gorgeous. You're able to see how the characters progress, and even like be able to influence whether or not like people have more connections with each other. Did I already say that there's a trans character? Because there's a trans character. That's and it also can be the main character. You're able to switch your pronouns whenever you want. There are plenty of options to confirm your gender identity, and there's even a wedding DLC for like $3.
What do you mean
Oh
a
my
wedding
god,
DLC?
there's a wedding DLC. In the main game, there are about I think maybe four chances where you're able to like get engaged to the main character, and at the end of the game, if you are engaged and you have the wedding DLC, you are able to segue past where the game originally ends and then plan a wedding. And during the wedding planning, there's like a bunch of different rituals that you're able to get into. Um, like the ones that are like traditionally for African people, the ones for like Irish people, like tying knots, jumping over a broom, stuff like that. And it's so inclusive. It's, for a free game, this game is so amazing. Oh my god. I think it's patch games, and they are starting with a new game called Our Life. Uh, wait, I don't know what it's called, but my God, it's so good. It's so good. Oh my God, stop. There are three characters. I think there are three characters that you were technically able to romance. That being Cove, Derek, if you have his DLC, and I think Baxter. I've never done it, so I don't know. But there seems to be a lot of fan art for Baxter, so yeah.
Baxter's
It's so good.
Laboratory.
It's so good.
Sorry, I had to.
Baxter.
Yeah, I know. I said Baxter's Laboratory.
Okay. It's so good. It's so good. I really do have like almost every single like save slot filled up in that game. The soundtrack is also amazing too. It's so good. It's so good. Free game. And DLCs are like I really gotta give it to all of the people and the voice actors that like helped do this. They're fully voice acted, but it has like noises, you know. Um, I remember showing Julie and Zoe this, and they spent like half an hour just like customizing code in the menus. It's great. It's great. Okay, we need to move on to a different visual novel because I just want to keep singing this game's praises. But okay,
You
moving on.
can. There's 5 more minutes.
Play the game. Support the developers. Give them your money. Give them mine. Well, the only thing left is the divine speaker, but we technically already covered that. So I don't really know what else there is to cover.
There's 5 minutes. It's fine. Don't worry too much about it. Well, how was it hosting?
I really just talked a lot. So
How the fuck do you
okay.
think I feel? I do this once a month.
Well, that was my takeover month in the month of January.
If any of you guys want to
The
see
Red Cast
RedJay
takeover.
return to host for whatever reason, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Because I know RedJay would be happy to talk about fucking, I don't know. What would you want to talk about? You struggled to make up a topic for this one thing, so.
I just like visual novels, and I just finished playing Love Bakudan.
I don't know, if
So,
we ever did
figured I might
Persona
as
2,
well.
you'd probably want to fucking host that.
Yeah.
Oh no, didn't we
I don't
make
have
a
lot
deal
to
with
say about
Chase? He was going to
Persona
host it
3
because
either.
you technically hosted the last one.
Yeah, I technically did, so. That's the Red Cast! Da-da-da-da!
Speaking of Persona, let me take this opportunity to be a little bitch boy. So, I feel like it's a good follow-up. That game's fucking amazing. I really flipped my switch since the Persona podcast, like 6 months ago. I started playing that game. It's fucking amazing. Wow, like that game is so good. Dawson, listen,
Wow,
listen. It's
almost like
such
I've
a
been singing
good
this game's
game. It's
praises for
actually such a
years.
good game. Like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I've been playing it more so for the RPG elements because I've just been really fucking loving it. The whole story, the story's been great. And like, the characters are great. But I'm gonna be honest. At some points, I'm just like, let me skip to a save point so I can keep playing. I won't lie. But it's been
almost
so
like
fucking good. It's been
I've
so
been
fucking
saying how good
good.
this game is for quite literally 3 years.
Can you blame me? I have to sit and listen to Chase talk about how amazing Dead by Daylight is, and that game fucking sucks in my opinion. So, excuse me for being hesitant. Excuse me for being hesitant. I know, but I've been told certain games would be fucking phenomenal. I tried it, and it's been shit. So, my skepticism is always there.
Then don't listen to Chase. Listen to me.
All right. From now on, I will only listen to you, and never ever again will I ever acknowledge what Chase says.
Good.
And that is recorded audio for Chase.
Mhm.
So I brought this up with you a few days ago, and I wanted to, since Adilson and Terrence are here, I feel like they could also comment on it. So you guys obviously know about like Telltale. They make a ton of basically the same game, different skin.
Yeah.
Where it's those choose your own kind of story games. Where would you say those fall in terms of like comparison to visual novels? Because I find
definitely visual novels.
I find that games like that, because they definitely are, but games like that,
they don't really follow like the same like.
There's gameplay to them. That's like the difference.
Type art style, I guess. I don't know. Like the characters aren't just moving.
The PNGs.
It's more of an interactive movie than a visual novel.
Isn't that the same thing?
No.
I think it is.
And by extent,
movie suggests something way different than visual novel. It's not like just pictures and words. It's moving characters and like models and stuff like that. It's like aesthetically different, but at its core, it's basically the same thing.
and I've always grouped them together. Like when viewing, like just like genres, I've always grouped those kind of games together, like a visual novel and those kind of games, because yes, they're way more interactive and there's a lot more shit. Like I've played through Minecraft story mode.
You're not wrong for grouping them together. Like at their core, they're basically the same thing, but it's just the presentation.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Completely different categories.
I will say though, you can't get that kind of interactivity out of like, standard visual novels, because it's just, I don't know, how the fuck do you implement like a quick time event into like, oh, look at this cute girl, okay, press the A button, like
press A button to smash.
Like there's only so much you can do. But there is appeals. There's definitely appeals and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And preference. So I guess I can't necessarily like fully comment on that, but it's just I've always felt like there's been like a kind of heated debate between like if one is better than the other, and I wouldn't necessarily say that one of either of those two specific things is better. I would say they both have their pros and cons.
Different strokes for different folks.
I personally would say I prefer.
If you're horny, play a visual novel. If you're not horny or a fan of The Walking Dead, play a Telltale game.
Magical horror.
I 100% feel like, in my experiences, I give less of a shit if it's one of those kind of Telltale styled games, and it's more so. I mean, I guess this might be a fault of Telltale. Their storytelling is kind of fucking, sometimes it's not the best. They're not. I don't want to shit talk Telltale right now. Just there's room for improvement, But those kind of games, I feel less attached to them than I would to like a visual novel story, because a visual novel. I feel like you're basically forced to focus on the story so much more compared to those more interactive experiences. So I feel less like attached to those, and I have like less reason to want to keep playing and shit, even though there's more for me to do as the player, because there's now less of a focus on the story, even if it's just the tiniest bit, and still everything around it is still affecting the story. I find just having that focus of the story and like you're choosing your paths makes such a difference for me. My experience of it. I don't really know what that says about me, but it's just my take from it. I'll be completely honest. Fucking, for some reason, the master of that genre is Telltale, because they pumped out so many of those kind of styled games. I'm gonna be honest, their fucking stories. I'm not gonna lie, they're not. I don't know why they fucking keep doing it. Like, I really don't want to shit talk Telltale, but I swear, like their games, like they're not the best.
Wait. Didn't Telltale make the Lego Star Wars games? You can't be talking shit about them. I'm about to fact check this real quick.
Yeah, the TT games.
Oh, wait. No, Traveler's Tales.
Yeah.
Damn, those are the guys who made Sonic 3D Blast.
Wait, is that actually?
Talking about Sonic, we're talking about visual novel.
Wait. Oh, no, wait. Are they actually the guys who made Sonic 3D Blast? I don't fucking know that.
Yes.
I thought that was just a fucking second. This Telltale Games actually made that?
No, Traveler's Tales, not Telltale.
Or yeah, Traveler's Tales. That's what I'm gonna say. No fucking shot. That's nuts. Yeah, I never knew that.
While fucking Sonic Team was like struggling with, actually no, I'm not gonna talk about it. This is a visual novel podcast. I will.
Adelson, we're wrapping up. You can talk about it. It's fine. I want to hear those.
Okay, so while Sonic Team was like trying to make Sonic Extreme, they were like, shit, we need to send the Genesis off with a bang. How do we do it?
We need to send it with a bang, alright.
We got a third party, aka Traveler's Tales, to try and make a pseudo 3D game on the Genesis. And they did okay. It's not a great game.
There was an attempt.
It was an attempt.
There was an attempt.
And then Sonic Extreme kicked the bucket before it came out of the womb, and they were like, well, guess we should port this thing to the Saturn.
Alright, I just from that like 1 minute of you talking about Sonic, I can feel RedJay's fucking passion burning.
Understandably so.
RedJay, do you want me to do the outro, or do you want to wrap it up?
You can do it. I don't really know how to.
Alright. Well, I want to thank you personally for hosting. I know it was kind of a lot for you at first. But you even went as far to an intro, so thank you a lot.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Frosty, for showing up, and thank you, Terrence, for uttering 2 lines.
He's dead.
You're welcome.
Oh, he's not dead. Hi.
Hi.
To be fair, I'm trying my best to make a conversation go, because it is my podcast, and Terrence already told me, he's like, I have nothing to contribute. So I was like, listen, you're going to be, I know you're going to be there, and you're probably going to just sit there. And that's what you ended up doing.
I was just kind of listening in.
Thanks for being here for emotional support.
You're welcome anytime.
You're the emotional support co-host. That's your title.
Yeah, I'll take that.
We're gonna rely on you for emotional support when we want a shoulder to cry on. We're gonna get to our emotional support co-host, Incanova.
Parasocial.
Anyway, as this is the start of the Friend Takeover, next month we'll be taken over by Hierophant Star, aka Zoe. We will reveal the topic then. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to share and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. And I'll let Jade say a personal goodbye.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for listening to my rambling, and we hope to see you next time.